Hey guys, welcome to episode number 230. Today is Tuesday, so I have another tank tip for you. Today I wanted to share with you how I connected my utility sink and the wastewater line from my aquariums to the drain line to the house. As you can see, the drain line is located about halfway up the wall here in the basement, and that means most of my water is going to be located below that grade level, and I need a way to pump that water out of the basement. Especially if I'm going to install a drip system on the aquarium rack. So if we take a look down here, you'll notice that the plumbing is pretty typical, except the 1.5 inch PVC line enters through a 1.5 inch bulkhead into a 55-gallon barrel. And that is a food grade barrel. I cut the top off of the barrel, and inside you'll see I have a sump pump, and that's connected to the hose as you saw previously, and that goes into the drain to the house. And also I have a float switch there. You might recognize that from the old aquarium system, and that's what's going to activate that sump pump. And as you can see, there's the 1.5 inch line, so any water that I turn on in this utility sink will essentially flow into this 55-gallon barrel. And then once that water level gets up to about, I'd say 10 to 15 gallons, that float switch is going to kick on, and then the utility pump is going to drain it out. So if I'm running at a drip rate of like 40 gallons per day, even if the power went off for an entire day in the house, I would still be able to capture all of that water in this barrel. And that was my number one concern with a system like this, because losing power is kind of the fail point to a system like this. So I do have enough volume here to accommodate a disaster such as that. So the 55 gallons here, plus maybe another 15 or 20 gallons in this sink, means I should be able to get away even if something does go wrong. So what we're going to do here is just pour in a 5-gallon bucket of water. And I'll show how quickly this water drains through that 1.5 inch line. I am going to put some filter material, like a filter sock, on the end here, so that any debris doesn't actually enter the water here, any large debris anyways, because I don't want that clogging up the pump. But as you can hear, the pump is on, and it is pumping. I do have a shorter hose here, and it seems to really help out. And as you can see, it's pumping quite a bit of water very quickly out this drain line, so I'm pretty pleased with the way that's set up. Again, this plumbing here is not final. It's just something that I've set up temporarily. But as you can see, I had probably about 20 gallons of water down here, and I'm already about halfway done draining that out. And what will happen is, once that water drains to a certain level, that float switch will turn off, and then I'll be ready for more water. So what I'm going to do is actually take the wastewater from my aquarium system and pump it directly into this barrel. And so if I'm dripping 40 gallons per day, I could expect this sump pump to turn on probably twice per day. And as you can see, it's only going to be on for maybe a minute at the most, twice per day. So it's not a whole lot of energy to accomplish the task, but just keep in mind that a system like this obviously relies on parts that are working and power that's on. So we want to protect the pump, make sure it doesn't get clogged up, and if the power does go off, we need to realize that that's the time to shut off your drip system to a system like this. So we can start to hear gurgling. And there we go. I've got to adjust the length of that power cord a little bit to make sure that shuts off on its own. But that was probably about a minute of pumping, and that barrel is now empty and it's ready for more water. What I am going to do here is put the same screen material over the top and clamp that down. That way if I have a 5-gallon pail of water, I can dump it directly onto this screen. If there are any baby fish or plants or anything else in that bucket when I'm siphoning my tanks, I will be able to capture those here, so I won't have to deal with those one at a time. I can just do that a bucket at a time, which should be really nice, and then I can just wash the screen every once in a while. This is actually the same material that I'm going to be using as a little bit of a filter sock down there over that 1.5 inch opening, and I just got that at a craft store. So anyways guys, hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about this setup, and I'll see you guys later.